I think all technological change gets to some negativity and some stress as it changes. Consider mobile phones, right? I mean, before mobile phones got popular, it's like, what, you have a phone with you and people can call you and interrupt you? And yet they're actually enormously transformative to how we live the qualities of our lives. We're reachable so that if your spouse wants to call you and say, hey, remember to bring home some milk, they can, right? So technology does change it, and there are always some negative stressing impacts that come from both the change and the technology, but ultimately I think it adds a lot of value to actually even the human life, and I think that's true both on the social networking side. So for example, while Facebook has a lot to do with college life, and as per that panel, hooking up in college life, staying in touch with your friends and being part of a medium by which you can easily share pictures and let people know what you're doing, and why everyone adopts it is because it is valuable. Similarly, in terms of LinkedIn, the idea is giving every individual the power of collaborating with their network to make them more effective, whether that's more effective by finding an expert, whether that's more effective by finding an inside connection to a company. It could be looking for a job, but it could also be looking to make a deal with a company. It could be finding an expert or someone who has solved a similar problem to you that you want to reach out to. Frequently when we talk to journalists, we say, what's LinkedIn for? Is it looking for jobs? Well, journalists can use it for looking for sources. You can find experts. You can find people who have recently left companies that you want to talk to about the company. You can reference check people. Both hiring managers, of course, can do that, but journalists can do that as well, because one of the classic questions is, how much do I believe what the person is telling me? Cross-check it with other sources, that sort of thing. So the idea is enabling and empowering the individual, and enabling and empowering individuals is, I think, another of the great goods. Right? It's one of the things I like about PayPal. Every individual can come in business. LinkedIn, part of the idea is I think the reality is everyone's becoming their own individual business, and how do you make them more effective in doing that, even while they're a full-time employee at a company? Well, so there's active and passive use, right? So the active use is what I was just suggesting, which is, say, for example, you establish a network. Right? The way you establish a network is you invite the people you already know. It's about connecting the people that you already have alliances with, trust relationships with. It could be professional, could be friends, but people that you would help them and they would help you. Once you have a network, part of what you can do is you can use the search function. You can post questions.
You've got to bring them on there.
Well, and they may already be there. We have over 1 million people in the UK already. So, one of the things we enable you to do is easily find the people who are already there. But yes, ultimately, you bring them on. It's part of an invitation process. Right, exactly. Right. So we have over 16 million people now. As I said, over 1 million of them in the UK. About 8 million of them in North America, and the other 8 are just, over 1 million in the UK, and then about 7 million distributed elsewhere. Yeah. I think it's about 4.5 million over all of Europe, including the UK now. And so the active ways are when you're looking for sources, when you're looking to have questions answered, when you're looking to reach somebody, when you're looking to find somebody. Like, for example, if you said, well, I'm curious to talk to some local people about the social networking thing. Well, you can go in, type in social networking, sort by, let's say in London or in Cambridge, and sort by degree distance and see who you know that's around you that may in fact actually have some expertise in this, who have worked in an appropriate industry, that sort of thing. Passively is also a way you can use LinkedIn. So, for example, by having a profile there in a network, people may reach out to you. And so, for example, say someone thinks that they have an interesting story that you, in fact, would want to run. Well, they could, for example, reach you through the network. Say they came referred to you through someone you knew, and the person said, oh, actually, this is a pretty good person. You can believe what they're saying. Well, that's greatly helpful to you in sourcing, in figuring out signal from noise, right? And then, actually, a third use, which I think is very important, is a part of being part of LinkedIn. Not only do your friends help you, but you help your friends. So, like, for example, one of the ways that I assist people is they say, well, okay, they're friends of mine, and even though, say, for example, they're working at, like a more recent example is a friend of mine who's working at Lucasfilm was like, oh, I'd like to talk to this person about this games concept of the company they're working at, and they realized that I knew them, and so they asked for an introduction through me. Well, providing that kind of introduction takes me 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and yet I'm adding a huge amount of value to my friend's ability to operate professionally, fast and effectively as a professional, and that's good. right? That's part of the change the world piece. So all of those are available as part of using the tool.